Buenas noches. I'm dressed a little bit al fresco. It's getting a little bit nippy, but I am relying on man-made climate change to kick in soon. Right? Man-made climate change. Hoping that might bump up a few degrees soon. Probably won't. What we have here are the top 4 absurdities. Not the top 4, but top 4. They are contenders for the absurdity of the decade or century, week, however you want to look at it. Number 1. These are they're not in this order because this one is more of an absurdity than that one or that one, or that one for that matter. It's just they have to be somewhere on the board. Egyptians building the pyramids, knowing that the 3 pyramids on the Giza Plateau weigh the equivalent of 135 battle-ready Nimitz-class aircraft carriers, it is not borderline insane, it's actually insane to think that the Egyptians quarried that weight, the weight of 135 battle-ready Nimitz-class aircraft carriers, copper hands, with copper hand tools, and their bare hands. It is pretty stupid, unfortunately. It's logistically impossible, okay? Those of you who don't think it's logistically impossible are also probably well in tune with the finite light that is radiating from the sun during the solar eclipse, as the sun is directly behind the moon, which is a clear indication of the sun's absolute light. If it were finite light, the sun, moon shadow, and the sweet spot on planet Earth would not be able to line up like they do. It's a fact. Fact, something that proves or disproves something, okay? Man-made climate change. Whoever made these claims is saying, hold up everyone, I know every single variable that is involved with the planet's climate. I know everything. The currents, the solar activity, just everything. The only way to be able to call something like these people are calling is if you knew every single variable that is involved with the planet's climate. And nobody knows that, right? Nobody knows that. Not even me, okay? It's ridiculous. Those claims cannot be made. Earth is a water planet with a molten core that's been shaped by tectonic plate activity, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions, 80% of which are on the seabed floor, changing the landmass, changing the ocean currents, which in turn will change the climate, okay? These claims are ridiculous. We have a new member, the half-life. What is a half-life? A half-life is an absurdity, okay? Now, for those who struggle with this one, a visual one, this half-life is audio only. It's words, it's tricky, it's an absurdity, I assure you. Now listen to this.
Half-life, the animal will have about...
An animal dies, carbon-14, we're not talking about uranium-238, the big one, or one of the big ones. Actually, there's another few longer. It's crazy. A half-life. Listen to this explanation.
On average, about half of the carbon-14 atoms will decay into nitrogen. This is its half-life. After one half-life, the animal will have about half the amount of carbon-14 it started with. After another...
Okay. So, how much carbon-14 did it start with? When the animal died, boop, right? We find a fossil. Where's a fossil? Here's a fossil, right? Oh, look, there's an animal fossil on here. I wonder how old is it? When was it around? Give it to the scientists, right? And they go, right. It has X amount of carbon-14 atoms in it right now, okay? Yeah, that's it. That's all they know. How do they know? Because of the amount of carbon-14 atoms that are in it, how do they know how many carbon-14 atoms were in it when it died? Can you see what I'm saying? They're saying that when it died, it would have had double the amount of carbon-14 atoms in it as it does now. But how can they say that if we don't know when it died? The reason we're looking at the fossil is to find out when it died. To know, for this fossil to actually mean something, we would have to know how many carbon-14 atoms were in the fossil, the animal, when it died. But we don't. All we have is a fossil, and in it there's a reading of carbon-14 atoms. Let's say, I don't know, 500, right? Okay, that's the reading. Now what? When did it die? We don't know. It is an open-ended absurdity. Without, it's illogical, but it is an audio thinking illogical. This one is visual. So this one, it's a bit trickier to grasp, right? But I assure you, it's a perler.
The carbon-14 in its body will start to go away. Every 5,730 years on average, about half of the carbon-14 atoms will decay into nitrogen. This is its half-life. After one half-life, the animal will have about half the amount of carbon-14 it started with.
Okay, but what did it start with? What did it start with? Did it die 10,000 years ago? 20, 30, 40, 50? How many carbon-14 atoms were in it when it actually died? We don't know, do we? So any reading that is taken from the fossil, to get a direction of something, you need 3 points. 2 isn't enough to get an indication of something. You need 3, right? So we're here, we're looking at the rock, the fossil, and it has got a certain amount of carbon-14 atoms in it. Fine, that's us in the present day, right here. We're looking at the carbon-14 atoms, lovely. Okay, now what? It's a snapshot of a moment in time, but we're holding it. We don't know where it was, and we don't know how long ago it was when this animal died. How can we know? We don't know. That's why we're giving him the fossil. But they don't know. They don't. Because they don't know how much carbon-14 was in it when it died. Do they? All they know is the amount that's in it now. So, the end. All we've got is a reading of how much carbon-14 atoms are in the fossil right now. That's all we know. How do we then work out when it died? We don't know, because we don't know how many carbon-14 atoms were in the body of the animal when it kicked the bucket, do we? An absurdity. So here we are, the top 4, and all for cracking reasons. They're all illogical. They are all illogical. Highly illogical. They defy common sense, and they defy logic. All 4 of them. People, these things, who are they testing, right? Because y'all have failed on all 4 accounts. These things can't be known. They're impossible. Can't be known, can't be achieved, can't be... They are ridiculous. But nobody else seems to see that apart from me. Why is that? Where am I? All right, we'll leave it there because it is getting nippy, and that man-made climate change let me down. I was hoping for a couple of degrees there. 10, perfect. Latest views.